Hello everyone, welcome back to this channel. Today's tutorial will be on how to make this beautiful detachable blouse. So do subscribe, share to friends, give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to turn on your notification bell. See ya. So first thing first, we'll be needing a basic pattern, a basic body pattern. Alright, so this is a half scale. Okay, now this didn't get to the end of my half length because I'm not making use of that area, so I decided to stop it here. All right, so now this is basic body, this is my shoulder, my chest line, armhole, the neck. So this is my neck width for the back, which is 2 inches deep. Then for the front, which is 3 inches deep. Then the width of the neck is 3 inches. All right, so now the next thing I'm going to be marking is how deep I want or how long I want my top to be. Alright, so now from the armhole, this is my armhole. I'm going to be coming down by 1.5 inches. You can decide to come down by 2 inches here. So I decided to come down by 2 inches here. Then for the front piece, because it's having like a yoke pattern. So now from the depth of my front neck, from the chest line, I'm going to be coming up by 2 inches. All right, so from this point now I went up by 2 inches. Now I'm going to be connecting these 2 points together, these 2 inches here from the depth of from my armhole down, and these 2 inches up here. This is just to form a curve. I'm trying to form a curve at this point. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. This is what the front is going to look like. Then for my back piece, it's just going to be on a straight form. All right, because it's not going to be having any form of a yoke. So this is it. So this is what I have. I'll go ahead and cut this off. Then I'm going to be using this to cut out my back pattern first before I start cutting out the front piece. So for the back pattern first, I'm going to be cutting out the first neckline, which is a 2 inches deep. Then I'll introduce my fabric. So now I went ahead to place my pattern paper on top of my fabric. I folded this fabric into two, so it's in a field of two. Okay. Now I didn't place the pattern paper center to center. I didn't place it at the center of the fabric. I'm giving 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches spacing. This 1.5 inches spacing is for my zip allowance, because without the zip you can't be able to wear this top. All right, so that's why I'm adding 1.5 inches for my zip. You can decide to work with 2 inches or 1 inch, but I prefer to work with 1.5 inches. So now I'll go ahead and cut it out. So then I'll open up my slits and notch the zip points. Then I'll keep it aside. Then for this piece now, for this front piece now, I'll go ahead and cut out this neck area. All right, then I'm also going to cut out this point here. So this is what I have. Then also cut out this point. So this is what I have. Now I'm going to also transfer this to my fabric. So now I went ahead to place my front piece after trimming it off on top of my folded fabric. Now the center, the folded edge, I'm working with the folded edge, and I placed my paper on the center. All right, so I didn't give any spacing. So I'll go ahead and cut this out. note, I added my seam allowance while drafting my basic body. Okay, so you can decide to not to add your own seam allowance, maybe your bust measurement, and you want to just draft only on your paper, which is totally fine, but I added mine into my pattern paper. So this is what I have. Now the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now, I'll go ahead and cut out the lining for my pieces. So now the next thing I'm going to be cutting out is the sleeve. Okay, so I'm going to be working with 25 inches length. You can decide to work with 26, which is totally fine by you. It depends on how long you want your sleeve to be. So I will be using 26 inches. So this is my start point. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be marking 4 inches. This is my biceps or my calf line. Okay, here now I'm going to insert my bust measurement plus my seam allowance. So this is what I have. Then I'm going to be making a curve from this upper part. I'm going to be curving it. I don't know if you can see it very well. I'm curving it to this point. Alright. So this is my sleeve curve. Now the next thing I'm going to do is on this bottom part of our sleeve, that's the hem area. I'm going to first of all, that is what I'm trying to show you now, is to know the volume of fabric to fold. Alright, so you're going to insert your waist measurements. Mine is 8, which is here. Then you're going to be inserting 12 to 13 inches extra or 14, depending on how wide you want it to be. So I'm working with the full of this 14. Okay, so now from this point now, where my bust stops, where I inserted the bust and the bust measurement and the seam allowance, I'm going to be connecting it to that point there. Where's my long rule? I can't find it, so I have to make use of my hand. So now, let me make it a straight rule. So you connect the two together. So go ahead and cut out your sleeve. So this is what I have for my sleeve. So the next thing I did was to notch my center, the tip of my sleeve. I notched it. Now what next do we do to this sleeve of ours? So kindly hem the bottom part of your sleeve. Go ahead and hem the bottom part of the sleeve. Also do the same thing for this other part of the sleeve. So having cut out my lining pieces, this is what I have. This is my front piece. So I'm going to be working with this hemming gum on the neck area and on this bottom part of it. Alright, reason is to make it lap very well, to avoid the lining being excess, just to control it very well. Alright, so that's what we're going to do now. So let's do that. So having joined my linings together, the next thing I'm going to go ahead now is I want to iron it first. Then I'm going to go ahead and join the two shoulders together. So I'll join the front shoulder to the back piece shoulder. Okay, now we'll do that quickly and come back. So this is what I have after joining my shoulders together. This is the back and this is the front. Now I'm going to be introducing my sleeve. Okay, remember I talked about folding or hemming the bottom part of the sleeve. Now we're going to find where we notched. Remember we notched our center point, which is here. So now we're going to be attaching it to the shoulders. This is the center of our shoulder, this is our shoulder, and this is the center piece of our sleeve. So go ahead and stitch on it and stitch on it here. Do the same thing to this other part of the armhole. So having attached the sleeves, I'm done attaching my sleeves. Alright, so this is what it looks like. I'll now go ahead and shape my sleeve. Okay, so now I'm going to be placing it this way, this way, this way, this way. All right, baby. So now I'm going to go ahead and shape the sleeve and part of this area. So can you do that? Then we'll work on the zip. So now I'm going to be talking on the zip area. We're going to be facing our zip. Oh, so this is the back piece where we're going to be attaching our zip. This is zip I'm going to be working with. Yes, it's long. I'm going to be cutting it off. All right. Now I would recommend working with an open zip, like a zip you can be able to open this way. All right. So that's, for me, that's what I would recommend because it's very helpful. So now I'll go ahead and attach my zip. So I'm going to be placing it this way. I'm going to be placing it this way, run a stitch on it, then I'm going to be cutting off the excesses we have. Okay.